Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Theory Thursdays with your host, Max Wild. What's up, John from Rockaway Park? Nice to see you again. Scott, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Ari, welcome. From gym class. Now that's dedicated. That's awesome. TWD's in the house. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're new to this show, this is Theory Thursdays as part of 343 TV. We're going live every day at 1 p.m. And yeah, 343 Labs is a music production school in New York, Berlin, and online. And yeah, we are, especially since we kind of had to move the whole world really had to move online. We wanted to do something for our community and kind of stay connected. So that's what this show is all about. Every day we have a different show taught by one of our instructors. For those of you that are new, Mondays is tips and tricks with dolltr. Tuesdays, and that's kind of about Ableton and producing with Ableton related software and hardware. Tuesdays is TAETRO, our creative director. It's TAETRO Talks, where he interviews different artists in the music industry, or also, yeah, just anything to do with the music industry. He interviews interesting people that, you know, want to share what they what they have to share. Wednesdays is Justin Beck, Lewis Beck, with Hybrid Home Studio, and I'm smiling because he hasn't actually been able to give his show yet because he's just recently had wrist surgery, so it's hard for him to you know, work the keyboard and all that. But we had Abe Duque and Claire Lim kind of step in for him. Thursdays is myself. Fridays is Abe Duque with production basics. Saturdays is the Selway Selway Techno Saturdays, something like that. And then every first Sunday of the month we do feedback sessions. So if you want to have your tracks heard, come by on the first Sunday of the month. And then we also have a special show, the Mix Monthly with Ariel Barujo, Grammy-winning mix engineer. So that's what 343 TV is all about. What's up, Abe? That's what 343 TV is all about. If you're wondering, I'm in Berlin. Let me know where you guys are at. I see, you know, John's in Rockaway Park. I know Abe's in New York. TWD, I can't remember where you're calling in from. I should know by now, right? TWD is one of our regulars. So Scott's in Canada. Is this? Are you in Canada? Oh, I'm mixing you up with someone else. Yeah. So today we are talking about triplets and swing. So drop your questions in the chat, please. First of all, what do you guys associate with swing? Anything that you associate with that, and do you use swing in your music? And if so, how do you guys use swing in your music? Do you use? So I'm an Ableton Live user, and you know, there's a great swing function in Live, and actually a lot of drum machines also have the swing function, which, you know, kind of changes the rhythm. We're going to get into it, but changes the rhythmic placements of the notes to give it a what we call groove, right? So just a very kind of general overview about swing, and then we'll talk about triplets. So I'm actually a trained jazz musician. For those of you that don't know, I'm a sax player and studied jazz in London and then New York. And yeah, I used to, you know, I had aspirations of, you know, making a career in jazz, and I guess I did for a while. But long story short, when I was studying, it was all about studying jazz and listening to a lot of jazz and trying to recreate that swing feeling. Now, swing was obviously also an era in the 1920s and 30s, which was a part of the jazz tradition. But really, what swing is, or where swing comes from, is a feeling, right? If you have music that is on a grid, if you have notes that are quantized and everything is super straight on the grid, sounds like a machine, sounds like a robot, right? A lot of the feeling is lost. If you take those notes and kind of pull them off the grid, especially in a particular way that we'll talk about, you're adding feeling to the music. So swing and groove. I really say the way that I look at it is that swing creates groove, and groove creates feeling and emotion. All right. So especially if you're coming from like funk or hip hop or I don't know, soul, R&B, pop, any of those genres, they have a lot of swing and they have a lot of groove, right? They have to be kind of, they have that like, they have that, right? That like swag, or that, like, I don't know, that special sauce where you like, you can't really put your finger on it, but it just sounds great. Okay. That's what swing is, and that's what groove is. Scott, I messed it up, right? Connecticut. Okay, close enough. Oh, I think I'm thinking of Andrew. Andrew Duke. Yeah, he's from Canada. Cool. No questions. Okay. Well, I guess if there are no questions, you guys are all already using swing in your music and using triplets. So, yeah, let's head over to, I'm going to be using Ableton Live. And let's talk about triplets first, and then we're going to talk about how triplets really affect or create swing. So, where are we? All right, I already made a kind of pre-doctored a beat, but we'll talk about that later. Let's just I've got a simple 909 kit here, which, let me make sure my phone is here. Okay. I've got a 909, and I'm just gonna put a 4 on the floor. Ooh. Sure. Why not? So, well, actually, before we get into triplets, so I'm going to talk about triplets first, and then we'll do swing. Before we go into triplets, I want to talk about just kind of how we feel a beat. First of all, just taking a step back, most of the music that we're making here digitally, or electronic dance music or electronic music, is going to be 4/4, right? The top number 4 means there are 4 beats in the bar, and the low number 4 means that each beat is a quarter note. So if I have 4 on the floor, that means there's 1 kick per beat, right? Well, that is super fast. Let's turn that down to like 125. Even one. Let me do like 116. Okay, cool. So Abe Duque is heckling me again. Oh, cool. Yeah. So Abe's got a good point. Some drum machines offer a shuffle function. How does this relate to swing and groove? Oh, nice. Yeah. So I mean, great question, Abe. Shuffle actually is a type of a groove, and very technically speaking, shuffle, is a jazz groove, which is like, when we get into swing, shuffle technically has swing built into it. And it's like that dun 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 dun. It all comes from the ride cymbal in jazz drumming. And I guess it depends on the drum machine, and I'm not a big drum machine guy like Abe is, but I would imagine that the shuffle function would generate groove and swing. But Abe, you should share that with us, because I am not a drum machine expert like you are. Okay, so we've got 4. So we've got 4 beats per bar, right? Now each beat is you've got a kick, and then you've got a hi-hat, and the hi-hat usually plays faster than the kick, and it what we call subdivides the beat. Okay, so actually, why don't I make this even simpler to see? So I'm going to change my grid to quarter notes for the kicks so that we can really see those are the 4 kicks playing quarter notes, and now we're going to subdivide the beat with a hi-hat, right? That's kind of normal. So in a lot of music, the beat on actually most beats, most drum beats, and it's not just the drum beat, it's everything. If the drum beat, or if the drums are playing and subdividing the beat in groups of 2, then the rest of the music is also subdividing in groups of 2. So here the beat is divided by 2. Very common sound, right? And then you can have variations of that where, you know, you've all heard this sound before. Right, offbeat hi-hats. And then the next variation you would have after that is probably, and I'm going to just bring this over to this guy, 16th notes. So if you're using 16th notes, then let me just get rid of these for a second. If you're using 16th notes, then you're still subdividing by 2 technically, because 4 is a multiple of 2. And I might as well just add my clap. Right? And now if you would have chords along to that, then so let me make some chords and a bass real quick. So by the way, my streams are really a forum for you guys to ask as many questions as you want. So if you have any questions about anything, please just jump in, comment, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, Abe is back, spilling some knowledge. Some Roland drum machines like the 909 have a shuffle function. I always thought it was just another name for swing or groove, but now I know better. Okay, oh, wow, I'm educating the man himself. I'll take that as a compliment, Abe. Thank you. So where were we? Okay, so we said that okay, we've got this beat, and now I'm gonna make some chords. So let's pick a minor chord, like something simple. Well, you know what? How about let's pick a major. So 4 half steps and 3 half steps. Nah, I'm feeling the minor today. So let's say that our chord is D minor, and let's double that. Duplicate that. And then let's go to. And let's make that twice. Duplicate that again. Sounds kind of, let's put a major in there. If you have any questions about how I'm making these chords, now's the time to ask. You know, let me add a F sharp here. No. All right, so now if we have these chords and we are gonna add some rhythm to these chords, guess what? The rhythm that we use, or the rhythmic subdivision, is also gonna have to be on a grid that subdivides the beat in groups of 2. So I'm gonna make up something here. This is like a very common rhythm, which you guys all know. Syncopated. Okay, cool. Now, if you guys watched my kind of lesson on making bass lines, the bass has to always follow or play the root. So it's super simple. I've got a bass here, okay? All I do is I copy the clip over to the bass, and I take out the notes that are not the root, and I just leave the root. So right here, these are the notes. Oh, I'm the wrong clip. Here's my root, right? D, because it's a D minor triad. Then I'm in B minor, so we leave the B. Then I have, now this is an inversion, so the root is actually G. So I take out the other 2 notes, the 3rd and the 5th, and then I go to B minor. Now, bass is super high, so bring it down 2 octaves at least. Let's check that out. Now I'm playing exactly the same rhythm as the, we call this chords. I got like a, I don't know, like a disclosure vibe. I guess that's what I'm kind of feeling here. Let's just make the bass lines fit a bit better. Like right now, I'm just copying the chords exactly the way, the same exact rhythm. You don't have to do that. You can play around with the bass line so that it's hitting some of the important rhythmic placements of the chords, but it doesn't have to hit every single one. So I'm gonna do this kind of not trick, technique I would call it, where you can use roots and fifths, and roots and octaves sound really good on bass. So a fifth is up 7 half steps, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and an octave. Let's take these guys out. That sounds cheesy. We'll try something else. Up 7 half steps. Let's just solo it. Oh, let's play it with the drums. What I like to do with the bass line is kind of like play some of the notes, but leave some out. That sounds cool. Let's play it with the bring this down an octave. Cool. Let's do the same thing here. So take out a note and then bring this note up a fifth. That's a fifth. And take that out, and up a fifth is the same as down a fourth, so that would be down 5 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now take that out. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to do a bass line that is playing more than just the roots, right? So that's a fourth down from the root, which is the same as a fifth up. You see? Same thing. Still not that happy with it, but how about I don't play the first one and only play the second one? I think that sounds better. It's too high for me. All right, I'm good with that. So now we've got drums, bass, and chords. Let's see what the chat is saying. Frank Phoebes, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Frank is a student of ours. Took a bunch of classes. Well, definitely at like our new location in New York. I'm trying to think if he was at our very first location. I don't think so. Good to see you, Frank. Jonathan, what's up? Yes, up and down an octave is just shift up or down. What keyboard shortcuts are you using to change the? Yeah, that's what I'm using. Okay, those are great questions, and if you have any more, just let me know. Okay, so what I was trying to demonstrate here is that right now, the beat is being divided by multiples of 2, okay? So as you can see, a 16th note grid is going to give you 16th notes, which if we look at the drums again, are multiples of 2. Everything is divisible by 2. Now, this is what happens if I change it to triplets. So this is, I guess, I'm going to call it straight, as in not triplet. And then let's duplicate that and call this triplets. Okay. Color code it differently so that we know it's triplets. Right. Very simple. Well, first of all, if you're using live, number one thing you have to do is change your grid to triplet grid. And you can see right now, and let's just go to 8th note triplets, that the beat now is being divided by 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there are 3 notes per beat. So I'm gonna get rid of these hi-hats and draw in triplets. And I'm just gonna turn off the bass for a second and turn off the chords. Oh, here we go. All right, let's compare the two. The feeling is totally different. Okay, the BPM is the same. It's 116. But in the first one, the beat is being divided by 4. in the second one, the beat is being divided by 3. Um, type in a 1 if you prefer straight. Type in a 2 if you prefer triplet. Here's 1, and here's triplet. All right. Now, again, with the triplets, you can do a lot. You can do little variations where you can take out notes. Here's, if I take out the first note of every group of 3, I have this beat, which you'll probably recognize from Disclosure song Latch. I think it's Latch. Yeah, it is. It's the one which goes ba ba, and then it goes. All right, I'm not gonna play it right now because YouTube will take this video down, so I don't want that to happen. But this is the groove that we have in Latch, okay, which is a triplet groove, and it gives you a totally different feeling. But now the thing is that if I have programmed a chord progression to go with a straight beat and I play it over the triplet beat, it's going to sound like the two don't go together. Check this out. And you can tell why, because check this, I select both of them and you will see that rhythmically the two just won't fit together. Here are my triplets, the yellow, and my my chords are the pink. Okay. So again, yellow and pink, and rhythmically they're just falling in different places, so they're not going to sound good together. All right, so what do I have to do? I have to bring these chords to a triplet grid as well. All right, so Scott saying that he prefers the straight beat. Okay, that's cool. I would say that it's not so much a question. I mean, I kind of asked you I asked you kind of a loaded question. It's not so much if you prefer straight or triplet. I think it really just depends on the song and the mood you're in and what vibe you're going for. So they have a totally different vibe. The triplet beat feels like it's always kind of like rolling. It's more well, it's almost like, I can't describe it more than like rolling, like just continually like just rolling forward, whereas the straight beat is more robotic, I guess. And it's, I don't know, it just seems like it's more emphasizing the beat, but I don't know, that's my personal way of describing it. Frank is asking a question. Hey, how do you tune drums clap according to the key of a track? Okay, that's a good question. I just really quickly, I wouldn't worry about the clap so much. Frank, I would worry more about the kick or the like if you have a sub kick or something, because the lower frequencies are going to be way more important and hypothetically conflicting with the bass. So the clap actually is not very pitched. It can be, I guess. What you would do, technically speaking, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but you could solo it. So solo your clap, and technically, you could put either a tuner. So just look for a tuner and throw that on there. Why is that not playing? It's not registering, but I've got the spectrum analyzer here. And the spectrum analyzer is telling me that the clap is, well, it's kind of all over the place. This is the thing about the, depending on what kind of a clap you have, clap really has a lot of white noise, and it's kind of a very complex wave shape. But as you can see that, I guess for the most part, the clap is in the 1.2 kilohertz range, so 1200 hertz, which is a D sharp 5, 5th octave. So I guess if, you know, I could, right now I'm more in the D range because my first chord is a D minor. I could transpose this down an octave. It's already been transposed. 4 semitones, but I could now, oh no, that's not the clap. Here's the clap. I could now transpose this down a semitone or a half step. It was this. All right, so now technically that's a D, and technically that should sound a bit better with my track. Let's see if that's true. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you could definitely do that. I doubt many people are going to notice that. I think you'll find that the kick is, or the sub, people are going to notice that more because it's going to be a bigger factor when clashing with other low frequency elements like the bass. Hope that answered your question. So let's get back to the chords. So what I'm going to do now, since I'm in a triplet grid, I'm going to change this to a triplet grid as well. Shortcut is because Jonathan was asking about shortcuts. Command 3 is turning on the triplet grid, and Command 2 is making the grid bigger. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, in fact, why don't we do this? Let's kind of cheat and quantize this to eighth note triplets. Let's see what happens. 100%. Maybe I'll get rid of the middle one. Yeah, either way, you can come up with all this crazy stuff. But the thing is that as long as you're using, you know what, let me just kind of like take away some of these a bit more randomly. As long as you're using a triplet grid and everything is following the triplet grid, you can come up with some really cool rhythms and everything will sound like it fits together, right? Let's check this out. It's too much. And now, how about we add like an arpeggio kind of pluck? I think I have a pluck here somewhere. Here, this high pluck. I'm just going to drag this over. And I'm going to copy these chords to the pluck. And I'm going to turn them all on. I'm going to kind of make my own arpeggio, so check this out. I'm only letting myself play one note at a time. See what this sounds like? Let's keep going. Keep going. Bring it up an octave. Shift up, Jonathan. And if you want to speed that up a bit, make the rhythms a little faster. Just going to divide this by 2. Well, nah, it's not going to sound good because the harmony is moving at full bars. All right, cool. So those are my chords now as triplets. And now let's do the same to the bass line. Duplicate that bass line. Ooh. You know what I might do? Let's make this a little simpler. Yeah, you know what? Why don't we just, again, select all and quantize it to 8th note triplets. Set this to a triplet note grid. And let's just turn off the chords and the high pluck so that we can hear the bass with the drums. There you go. Now I was kind of cheating because I just quantized to a triplet note grid and it kind of just moved everything over. You could also do it manually, but I kind of like it. Cool. By the way, I forgot to say, I just remembered this, this week's giveaway. So we're partnering with a bunch of brands, and we're also partnering with Ableton. And this week's giveaway is a $200 voucher for anything on Ableton.com. So to enter the giveaway, drop your name in the form that Thomas just dropped in the chat, and that way you will be considered for the giveaway, which will be announced. The winner will be announced on Saturday. So yeah, $200. Anything from the Ableton store, not bad. You could, it could be off a license, an Ableton license. It could be off a Push. It could be off a sound packs. Anything. Anyway, continuing with this. So we've got our triplet groove, drums, bass, high pluck, all right. So now what I really wanted to talk about is, well, What instrument were you using for the high pluck? Scott Vincent. Ah, good question. Thank you for the compliment because I actually made that myself. I just made it with operator. And added some saturation, reverb, and echo. Yeah, operator is super simple to make cool plucky sounds, right? So normally you'll start with an envelope like this, which would sound not like a pluck. And then bring down the sustain and shorten the decay. Dial it in. There you go. We got Elite Empire Productions. He wants to enter the giveaway. Okay, cool. Yeah, all you need to do is enter your name. Thanks for stopping by, Elite Empire Productions. Okay, let's get into swing. Okay, so swing comes right out of triplets, as I was saying. As a jazz musician, we studied this a lot. So there's a misconception. Swing is just this like enigmatic thing, which it can be used for a lot of things, but really it comes from triplets. So if I go back to this clip that I made for you with the drums, and I have these triplets here, and let me just stop everything else from playing for a second. So, and let me get rid of it. So, triplets are usually, when you listen to a jazz drummer, and it sounds very organic and like well, it sounds very groovy, like any funk drummer, R&B drummer, jazz drummer. The reason why it sounds so flowy and kind of also syncopated is that certain notes are longer and certain notes are shorter. And usually it's the first note which is longer and the second note is shorter. So you'll often get something like dun 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 that's the drummer, right? So let me show you how that groove is made. Okay, first of all, eighth notes in swing are not eighth notes like this. Eighth notes, straight eighth notes sound like this, right? Those are straight eighth notes, but in swing, they're not that. I'm gonna go back to the triplet note grid. In triplet note grid, you can see in swing, in fact, the first note of the group of three is made longer, the middle note is taken out, and then you have the third note, which is shorter. So essentially, the first two triplet notes make up the first note, and then the third triplet note makes up the third note, and it gives you this sound. Right, and then if you want it to be funky, you can do something like, you would do it in the kick as well, right? So you do. Well, let's try putting this on the. No, that doesn't sound so good. Let's keep the claps on the 2 and 4. Let's actually bring in a 16th note. Yeah, that sounds much better. All right, let's duplicate that real quick. Oh, not like that. Duplicate the loop is what I meant. So there you have, there's our kind of swing groove, right? That really has a lot of swing. If I was to make a beat, just to kind of show you guys a straight beat with swing in it, I would kind of make the same thing. I would go... Boom. 2 and 4. Oh, no, I want eighth notes. And let's vary these, change the velocity on them a bit. Boom. All right. Boom. And I'm going to make like a, I guess kind of like a hip hop beat, which uses a lot of swing. And actually, let me just, for the sake of this demonstration, make these 16th notes. Right, now, this is a great example. These 16th notes would sound really, they sound really kind of like they don't have a lot of feeling or groove because they're being played so evenly. But now check this out. If I take every other note and make it a bit shorter, look what happens. Well, that's too much maybe. Oh. And now let's bring these kicks and make those a bit shorter as well, so that they're kind of in line with the hi-hat. I'm only bringing these in line with each other because they're so that they fall in the same place. Look at that. I did exactly what I just showed you in the triplets. I made the first note longer and the second note shorter, and that is creating this groove, which we call swing. And guess what? I could even, to take it one step further and bring it full circle, I could turn on my triplet grid and take a look what we have. If I turn on my triplet grid, I can see that these hi-hats are almost lining up with the third triplet of the beat. Here again. Okay. There we go. So that is using swing to create groove. And now I'm just going to finish off with one quick thing, which is we have something called, I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to quantize this again to the way that it was, to make it straight, I guess. Yeah. That sounds totally lifeless, but what I can do is I can go to my user library. Actually, it's in my packs. And I can go to my core library, and I've got a folder there called Swing and Groove. And I could, for example, take a hip hop groove, or how about an MPC groove? Let's take one. It kind of gives you a little preview. And I'm going to drop that in my groove pool. And now I can apply it to this groove. MPC 16. See what it does. Without it, it sounds like this. With the groove applied, it sounds like this. Now, if I commit that, you can actually see, do it again, commit it. You can actually see that it did exactly that. It made the first hi-hat longer than the second. Long, short, long, short, long, short. If I turn back on, my triplet grid is on, so it's kind of pushing towards that triplet note grid. So what it's doing is it's adding that like extra flavor, right? That special sauce, that swag, okay? And that's what swing is, okay? And that's how swing creates groove. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Any questions about any of that, just let me know. Now's the time, because we are wrapping up. Scott, is groove as used here similar to groove pool? Yeah, I don't know when you dropped that in the chat, but yes, groove is as used in groove pool. The groove pool is a place in Live where you can store your grooves and then pick a groove of your choice and apply it to your beat. Okay, you could actually also apply it to any other instrument as well. But yeah, what I wanted to say real quick is, so we obviously, we're in music production school. We have a bunch of courses coming up. Okay, some really cool courses. We have a new music composition and arrangement course, which actually starts tonight. So if you're interested, you can just head over to 343labs.com, and you will see right here under the courses, there is a new course starting today, which will teach you a lot of this theory that we covered today and a lot of the theory that we're covering in these streams. Right here, September 24th, that's today. If you want to read up on it, you can, and we'll be covering, all the theory that you need to know about to kind of bring your ideas out easily and quickly. So that is a great great course to take, and it'll also teach you how to arrange your ideas. So yeah. Also, if you haven't dropped your name in the chat, do it now so that you'll be entered for a giveaway. Please subscribe to our channel. So if you're not subscribed, hit the red subscribe button and hit the bell key, which will let you know when we go live so that you don't miss a stream. Tomorrow we have, it's Friday, so it'll be Abe2K with production basics. Tune into that channel, to that show. It's awesome, especially if you're just getting into music production. It's a great show. Covers like all the basics, and you know, Abe's a real veteran of music production. He's been in the business for decades, so he is the real OG. Definitely check that out. On Saturdays, then it's John Selway with Techno Saturdays. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Thank you for joining us. Cool. Yeah. And that's it. I will see you next week. So long.